Hey there, Tiffany, Mika here, your high performance entrepreneur coach. Hope you're having an awesome day. I know you are. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Fear of failure. Do you have a fear of failure? I'm going to share a quick story with you, and then I will talk about the fear of failure in business, okay? When I was growing up, all I wanted to do was be a professional tennis player. It was my dream. I lived and breathed tennis. If you ever came across and had a conversation with my mother, she would say yes, that's all she did. Okay, that's all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to be the #1 tennis player in the world. The problem that I had, especially in my teenage years, because I was, very self-conscious and had a low self-esteem and so on. The problem that I had was I didn't have any self-belief in me, and also I was so frightened of losing. So frightened of losing. I was so frightened that I would look like a failure on the tennis court that I used to justify in my mind it was okay not to put 100% effort in. Because I was like, oh well, if I put all the effort in and I fail, well, what's the point of putting the effort in? I used to talk myself into that. So in saying that, then I didn't achieve my dream, right, of becoming the #1 tennis player. Yes, I went and played tennis overseas. I can share lots of other stories in the future about what happened then, but I gave up on that dream, right, because I was so frightened of failing every time I went out on the court. I remember playing a match against a top Australian professional player, and I lost very easily. And I was so caught up in my head, and I was so worried about what might happen that it happened anyway, right? And I lost, and I went behind the shed and bawled my eyes out for hours, and I just don't know if I can do this. But it was all that was going on up in here, right? So your fear of failure and failing, it's up here. It's all the stuff that goes on in your head. Now, I didn't work all that out when I was 19, 20. God, I wish I knew all. I wish I put this head on that body, right? Because my God, watch out world. Old head on young shoulders. But it's the stuff that goes on in here. So if you're talking yourself into, okay, well, it's not going to work. If I do this online thing, if I do this thing, to improve my life or whatever, well, it's probably not going to work. Then you are so right, it is not going to work. You are not going to get to where you want to go because you're talking yourself into it. You are talking yourself into it. You have to go, you know what, I'm going to give it 100%, and I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to do everything that I can so that I achieve what it is that I want to achieve. That is going to make a difference, because you will get to wherever it is that you want to go. You will achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, but you have to start with this. You've got to get this right. You can know all the strategies, you can know every application that you need to do in your business, but if you keep saying, oh well, it's not going to work, then it will not work because of what goes on up in here. So you have to get this right. I didn't understand that when I was 20. I've done a lot of personal development and so on since. I've spent a lot of time with various people and doing various courses and so on to get this right. Because this is what I've always wanted. So I want this for you. I want you to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, but you have to make sure you get this thing right. So if you're fearing that you're going to fail, you're right. I don't want you to fail. You don't have to fail, all right? There's 2 reasons why people fail, and you've probably heard this many times. One is they quit, and the second reason is they never get started. And I don't want you to be any of those 2. I want you to go, you know what, Tiff, you're right. You can admit to yourself, I am frightened of failing. You can admit that. But it's what you then do from this point on to make sure that that doesn't happen. What is it that you need to do? What actions do you need to take? What kind of work do you need to do to make sure that you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve? Okay? That is what I want to get across to you today. Work on this. If you need some help with that, reach out to me. Send me an email, love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below as well. Have an absolutely awesome day. Take care, talk soon. Bye bye.